The world we are living in is stretched between north and south poles, but also many more sets of poles. The most beautifully profound symbol ever invented, seen by many eyes, but understood by few minds. What is the connection between the two? Welcome to I Ching Compass, the home of all changes. Change is inevitable. We are living all kinds of dualities that advance the life, but also produce the tensions and the conflicts. All the outer conflicts eventually are all inner conflicts. To quote from Epictetus, it's not what happened to you, but how you respond to it that makes a difference. But it's sometimes just very difficult to form a right response in situations, particularly with polarized ideologies. So today, I would like to share the principles of change distilled from the ancient wisdom from I Ching. Understanding it will be beneficial to find your inner gravity and most responsible response in each and every situation that arises. The principles of the change are packed in one simple symbol. In Chinese, we call it taiji. Literally means the origin of the polarities. And in the Western terms, it was often referred to as the double fish diagram. The version we nowadays use is widely associated with Taoism. If you gaze at the symbol, what do you see? I guess you might say, first thing struck you is a black and white. The white fish and the black fish are biting each other's tails. In their clear separation, they are perfectly united. The white part is called the yang, and the black part is called the yin. According to the Chinese, white on the left, black on the right. Also, it is our habit to say men on the left, women on the right for all kinds of traditional position arrangement. Now you know why woman is always right. The yang represents the masculine and the yin represents the feminine. When I use those terms, I refer to the energy, not the gender. As you may well agree, no matter it's man or woman's body, we all possess the same two energies, masculine and feminine, or in other terms, anima and animus. Yin and yang are the most fundamental two energies that are split from the taiji, almost like the Big Bang, in all the forms that Bang gives. There are the fundamental dualities embodied in everything. So we can find many associations with yin as well as with yang. Yang is heaven, yin is the earth. Yang is the day, yin is the night. Yang is firm, yin is yielding. Yang is growth, yin is resting. Yang is the spirit, and yin is the matter. The polarities are endless. The duality is inevitable life forces, but also the very force for all the struggles and sufferings. We are living in a world that are full of split, and so are our inner world. But the problem is not the split itself, like the two fish diagram shows. Without the split, you don't see what is what. But the key is the relationship between the two. If the two are in dynamic harmony, there is growth. If there is one-sidedness, well, you can anticipate a stagnation. Let's go back to the symbol of Tai Chi and study the dynamic and the unchanging laws this symbol is revealing, as it will point the way to build bridges to heal the split. The law number 1. The yin and the yang are always relative to each other. That is to say, they coexist. Without the opposite part, the other half automatically loses its reference and hence its meaning. A day without a night is not the day. The life without the death is not worth living. It reminds us to be humble and to stay open. Because it's like left hand coordinates with the right hand, or a background is needed to see the foreground. They are born as a separate twins that are bound to be united. So here's the application question. Can you recall a moment that you're most confident and some other moments when you are most insecure. What are the energies in the circumstances that makes that difference in your experience? The law number 2. The yin and the yang are mutually inclusive. Did you notice the two little dots like the fish eyes on each half? They show that yin and yang in no single moment are separated. It's also a powerful reminder that all the luck and success bears the seeds of danger. And in the middle of all the adversity lies always a seed of opportunity, a hidden blessing. The practical functionality of knowing this, in my view, is to really tame our ego. When the things are on the rise, don't walk next to your shoes. Otherwise, your own arrogance and complacency will soon defeat you. And when the going gets tough, also do not lose hope and faith, going back to the deep trust in life. The positive shall return. Application question. Now, the whole world is experiencing altogether this unfortunate event called coronavirus. Could you find the hidden blessing in this ordeal, either for yourself or for your environment and the society we are living in? The law number 3. The yin and the yang ebb and flow. That is to say that when the yang is surging, it takes the space, and hence the yin energy is in retreating. And vice versa, when the yin energy is mounting, it calls for the yang energy to rest. The Chinese medicine specializes in understanding this very dynamic between yin and the yang within our body. For instance, the Chinese doctor will say this symptom is a manifestation of too much yang, but he needs to peel back to the root cause of the off-balanced relationship. Is it originated by the yang energy in dominance, either from the environment or from one's bodily nature, or is it because of the weakening of one's yin energy? Understanding this will allow the Chinese doctor to prescribe the right medicine to address the root cause. If it is caused by the yang in dominance, the medicine used shall work primarily to release the surplus. If the root cause is a weakened yin, the medicine should predominantly work on reinforce the deficiency of the yin. And often enough, the prescriptions aim to work on both ends. The application meaning of this is to look deeper under the surface, understanding the driver and response in the relationship dynamics, and then to work on adjusting the individual parts to restore the healthy relationship. So here comes the application question. Do you recognize your own yin and yang energies ebb and flow, in particular in relationship or in a certain dialogue? When you are more quiet, what do you notice your counterpart? When you are more firm and expressive, what do you notice then the energy of your counterpart? When does the dialogue become a monologue, and what does that do to the energies on both sides? The law number 4. The yin and the yang are transformative. That is to say, when each energy is getting to its climax, they start to become the opposite. The Swiss psychologist Carl Jung refers to it as the most significant psychological law, the regulative function of the opposites, also called enantiodromia, by which he meant that sooner or later everything runs to its opposite. Well, the concept of enantiodromia is originated from Greek philosopher Heraclitus. In ancient Greek, it means running counter to, referring to the emergence of the unconscious opposite in the course of time. This practically always occurs when an extreme one-sided tendency dominates the conscious life. If you're wondering what does that to do with our modern living, just take a look around. Isn't it sometimes striking to you that history seems always repeating in its cycles? When the establishment is getting to its peak, there is always anti-establishment movement. The globalization is favored to such extent that the nationalism suddenly arises. the wall, the anti-wall, opening the border, closing the border, you name it. The world we are living in right now is a vivid demonstration of all above-mentioned principles of change. Enantiodromia also refers to the process whereby one seeks out to embrace an opposing quality from within, internalize it in a way that results in individual wholeness. This process is a core of Jung's notion called the path of individuation. One must incorporate the opposite archetype in one's psyche to obtain a state of internal completeness. And this is exactly what all individuals and our society should do. Well, let's take a final look at the principles of changes that are driven always by the dynamics between the dualities. 1. The yin and yang are relative. 2. They are mutually inclusive. 3. They ebb and flow in complementary to each other. 4. They are transformative. That's for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you are interested in learning I Ching and more of its wonderful applications for modern living, welcome to visit my website, ijingcompass.com. And feel free to leave a comment or question below. Thank you for your watching.